Why, hello there! How are you today? Awesome Soul here, and welcome back to some more Robocraft news. This episode is kind of a bit of a catch-up episode, so I'll be going through Mark's Twitter and kind of catching up everybody on the news and what's kind of happening and what is planned to happen for Robocraft going forward. First things first though, I do want to highlight something that I don't think I've really talked about before, and that is basically giving you the tail end of a competition that's going on currently. If you're watching this when the video goes live, you only have 1 day left to get your competition entries in. What exactly are these competition entries? Well, this is for the bodybuilder chassis design competition. Links to exactly what this is down in the description below. What this basically is when you are using the bodybuilder tool, you are given a choice of some pre-made chassis. Well, they want to add more chassis to the game, so they are doing so via the player base. Yes, if you submit a chassis that they like, then it will possibly be added into the game. The basic gist of this is that you can make a tank, car, mech, or hover, that's for category 1, and then in category 2, you can make something completely different, something entirely your own style. Essentially, something outside of the aforementioned classes. If this sounds like something you're interested in, again, check the description for it, and reminder, you only have 1 day to get your submissions in, so better get on that. Anyways, going on from there, we finally go over to Mark Simons on Twitter. Starting us off, we have something for the upcoming Christmas event, or possible Christmas event anyway. He says, "We've been working on some fun stuff to do for Christmas in Robocraft. We'll be bringing Reconnect before Christmas too. It's been a tough feature to get in. Sorry it's been taking so long." Hey, I'm always pleased about special events, especially if they decide to bring back the old Christmas map, the one with the massive Christmas tree in the center of Helion Impact Crater. That was still not even just my favorite event map. That is legitimately my favorite map, period, in the whole game, and I've been dying to play on it again. Moving on, in response to another question, Mark responds by saying that the old T10 colors, of course T being tiers back when they had the tiered block system, and those cubes were black, though they basically had a red iridescent to them. And he says that it would be nice to let you paint in a iridescent layer, or at least that's kind of what I gather by the tweet. And he says it is possible, but it will take a while to do this. Also in response to that question, he responds mainly to the whole thruster and hover hitbox question. He's wondering if they're referring to Robocraft Infinity, which, as you know, those do boast the new hover sizes as well as changes to the sort of air intake section, I guess we can say, of the thrusters. And he says it's impossible to make that change without breaking thousands of robots. When we do that, we get tons of hate. Now, I can kind of understand where he's coming from, especially now that they're out of alpha or beta. They're in full release, so they can't really make any major changes like that. But as another user pointed out, when they changed the wheel size, there wasn't really many complaints about that. Though I guess that was in part to the fact that wheels were practically useless, whereas hovers, for example, and also thruster builds are a lot more popular. But what do you guys think? Would you like to see the Robocraft Infinity changes come to classic Robocraft, mainly in the form of the hover changes? I'm kind of curious about that specifically. The next one has a very interesting bit of information hidden within. So, Mark states, "I still believe that MMR, the matchmaking ranking, is the best way of matchmaking players. The boost system is working well in general, but can always do with some improvements, especially balance. And here's the kicker, and we are working on game mode improvements at the moment." So these are not actual balance changes to weapons and parts, etc. This is specifically tweaks and balances to the game mode itself, whether that be Battle Arena, TDM, Elimination, Pit, or even possibly custom games? Though I kind of doubt that. We can hopefully see some changes in the future. Not really sure what those are at the moment, but they are working on something. Here's another thing, going back to the Christmas event, or again, possible Christmas event, nothing's announced yet, that we talked about earlier. So Mark states, it's very easy for us to increase percentage drop rates and batch sizes. Of course, he's referring to cosmetics and crates, etc. I'd be happy to consider that. He also says during Christmas, we'll be giving away a load of cosmetics to everyone as well. Perhaps they're going to be doing some sort of gift type item that they've done in the past. Previously, they've done the speedometer this way, and they've also done the carbon variants of plasma as well. So are they going to continue this trend and release a new item that's bundled up that won't be officially revealed until the event is over? Or will they just simply opt for higher drop rates out of crates, at least as far as cosmetics go? Which one would you personally like to see? More of the existing cosmetics in crates, or something new that's sort of secretive that we won't get officially until the event is actually over? Though we can actually stock up on them, they're just in present form. Personally, I'm kind of leaning to a new cosmetic. Continuing on, we come to what is more of a newer tweet, and it's kind of an update on what was said earlier, though I still felt like I wanted to post that old tweet anyway, just to keep you guys kind of in the loop. So, he says, "So sorry you're experiencing this," in reference to disconnects. Reconnect will be released about mid-January. Of course, that is 2018. At least I can assume so, anyway. It has been very, very difficult to put in, which is why it's been taking so long. The way I've had it described to me by Clearly, to one of my Twitch streams he kind of hopped in on, he was basically describing it as the game server would have to memorize exactly what the robot was, each block, and what position they were in when they logged out, among many other things. So yeah, it definitely seems like because of the way Robocraft has its building system, that's causing them a lot of trouble. It's not just like a simple shooter where you've got your player character and the gun they're holding, and that's it. Robocraft has a lot more it needs to keep track of. Anyway, coming into the home stretch, Mark says, been working on some designs for improving team deathmatch, elimination, and battle arena. And the biggest thing here is, and some new mode variants, which we can implement fairly quickly in Robocraft with Sergi and Clearly. And then Clearly says, I'm really looking forward to the next update. So, could we perhaps get these brand new improvements in the next update, and possibly the new mode variants as well? Well, Rafifu asks when the update will exactly be, and Mark says, need to plan it out with Phil, the producer, first, before we know the dates. So, as far as the ETA on the update, we are kind of left in the dark. But it seems like it will be actually a fairly big update, which is quite interesting. And one of the things Mark kind of touches on that might possibly make it in is that he says one of the main issues is that you don't get score from taking damage. So tanks who hold mid always get a bad score. And this is something I've actually touched on multiple times. So it's good to know that this is possibly going to get addressed. And finally, along the same lines of improvements, as far as a possible solo mode goes, I assume this would be a 1v1. Mark says, I would like to try a solo mode. We could try it in a brawl, perhaps. Yeah, I think that would be pretty good. Traditionally, brawl mode has always been very low population after the first few days, so especially with a 1v1, it wouldn't really be that bad, because you certainly wouldn't be waiting a good 8 minutes or so just trying to get a full platoon up, because, you know, you only really need 2 players. But anyways, with that guys, I will go ahead and end the video right about here. Feedback on anything discussed within the video would be fantastic. I'm always curious to know what your guys' opinions are. Anyways, I of course have been the Awesome Soul. I thank you all so very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Take care.